UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode. I almost forgot how to do this, Richard. Thanks for everyone for joining us for Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. I am Michael Boroff.
And I'm Richard Cato-John.
Rich, it feels like that we're going to have to do a end of summer recap because it's been a minute since me and you've gotten to do this.
I think the last time we did something was, it was like midsummer. It was like July. I don't think it was July. Might have been June.
Yeah. It's amazing because even with the ability to do the show the way that we're doing now, which is so much easier than getting together when we first started doing it, it was just like life just went, nah, brah. No, we're going to get in the way.
Yeah, jobs and everything else.
Especially you, man. You've been killing it at your job. It's almost like on the Saturday afternoons where I'm like, I'm going to get a hold of Richard to do a show. God only knows where you're at doing video and taking pictures at.
Yeah, it was busy. Like last weekend was crazy. I had ONU's Ohio Northern University's homecoming parade. And then I had a Halloween parade in Kenton. Then I was at a United Way charity event. So it was like a full day last week.
Yeah. And speaking of like Halloween, for anyone who's local to the Lima, Ohio area, I was so happy. The folks at Safety City reached out to my cosplay group, my local cosplay group, the Heroes for Hope, to volunteer with their trick or treat. Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Look, Safety City has been a staple in my life since I was 5 years old, since I was tricycle age, because that's the way it was. For those that don't know Safety City, it's a small community of local buildings and roads where they teach young children road safety and, stop signs and stop lights. And to come back after all these years and see it not only still going, but evolved. Oh my God, I felt like a kid in a candy store. It was great. But yeah, we got to do the trick or treat there, which they put on such a great event. Well managed, well run. It wasn't just like a mob of everybody, They had they had our group and dozens of other local groups all around the quote unquote streets of Safety City. And it was just a constant stream of kids, and it was so much fun.
I bet they love seeing you guys all dressed up and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Although, I went as a Ghostbuster. Our friend Jared was Obi-Wan Kenobi. Our friend Adam was Star-Lord. And a good friend of mine, Tony, he was Captain America. And the kids loved them. It was the grown-ups that were digging the Ghostbuster suit. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was about the extent of my Halloween experience this year too. Was candy at Safety City.
Mine was I was at Kroger's and the candy was all on discount. I just happened to be there the same time the parade was going on up in Findlay, so I bought 3 bags of Reese's.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can feel it though.
Oh, I know. It was to the point, Richard, where we learned from our mistakes. The Heroes for Hope also about a month ago, we're invited to be in the Canal Days parade in Delphus. And it was the first time we have done a parade as a group, and we were super excited for it. We had candy. That candy didn't make it halfway through the parade route, dude. I'm from Delphus. I was not expecting this. And I mean, the kids still loved us, but you get so far down the parade route, the kids are like, where's the candy, fat man? Bye. So we learned our lesson, and everybody in the group brought a couple bags of candy. And when we had it all in the trunk, we were thinking to ourselves, like, oh man, we are so going to be gorging ourselves on the leftover. Oh no, Richard, there were so many people that the volunteers were well prepared. They were walking around to the volunteers with bags of candy if they needed it, and we needed it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been over to that a couple of times. That parade is a pretty big parade.
It really is. And what was really, talk about a nice little small town thing, was as we're finishing up the parade, it was super nice because we took, I'm not bragging, right? We took my Mustang, had the top down, which worked out fantastic because Murphy's Law, halfway through the parade, poor Adam, who was dressed as Superman, because he is a fantastic Superman. I've been there. I've experienced this pain. He had a boot blowout.
Ooh.
The heel of his boot he was walking, the heel was still there, which I've had happen too. So we just sat him on the back of the Mustang, like Grand Marshal waving to the kids. But it was cool because when we were done, when you got to the grandstand where the
judging.
The judging, we didn't sign up for judging, but I knew the MC from my local vape store. And it was one of those weird moments where I was Doctor Strange, so I had my wig on, but it was just like, oh, here we have the Heroes for Hope. We've got Superman, Cap. And as soon as he looked at me, he put the pieces together. I could almost hear him say Mike underneath his breath. It was like, we got Doctor Strange. So, but yeah, they do a really nice parade.
I had that incident like that happen down at one of the football games when I was covering the football games. The announcer just happened to know me, and he goes, "Welcome to the field, the Kenton Times reporter, or Richard Catterjohn."
What was really cool was when I emailed in our application to be in the parade. A friend of the family from when I was married was the woman that responded back. She's like, yes, Mike, of course you can be in a parade. I'm like, Maria, what are you? Oh. So you got to give it up for a small town sometimes, man. I love stuff like that.
I've been saying, I've been covering these little events and stuff, it's just like going to a comic book show. Because
it really is, yeah.
You know everybody, but at the same time, you just keep walking around in circles.
Perfect example that, Rich. Since we legitimately, we're just going to be doing a catch up of all the nerdy stuff we've done since our last podcast. One of the greatest Christmas presents my sister has ever given me last Christmas was a season pass to the Ohio Renaissance Festival. I'll be damned if I didn't, because she gave me the paper copy to it, and it's December, so I'm like, I'm going to put this someplace where I'm not going to lose it. Fast forward 4 months later, where did I put it? But I got to go down more this year than I have in years combined. I can't talk enough about the Ohio Renaissance Festival. I could do an entire episode, but one of the big draws this year is they have added on a new area in the back. And before the festival started, I follow all that stuff on Facebook and the like. I knew they were putting something together in the back. I had no idea, Rich, the scope of it. That place, the new area is about the size of maybe half or a third of the entire size of the Renaissance Festival.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really helped out a lot because like the first weekend I went down, this was the first time. I mean, I wasn't there at gate open, like at 10 o'clock. I got there about 11. I have never had to park farther in the back than I did. And I'm like, oh man, it's going to be great, but it's going to suck. Had my season pass, walked right in. Dude, with that new area in the back, there was more people there than probably ever, but it didn't feel that way because it was so spread out. And of course, I got to give it up for one of my favorite weekends ever down there. Me and our friend Jared went down for Time Travelers Weekend.
Oh yeah.
God, holy crap, that was so much fun. I love that weekend so much. Rich, I thought of you so many damn times because there were so many OG Star Trek people.
Oh geez.
And I'm like, God, man, he's been trying to do this for years. And it was, and speaking of, Richard, tying into something we were talking about before the show started, while I was sitting, I was very excited. I'm a very excitable person, if you can't tell. And I may have indulged, since Jared drove, I had a few adult beverages, which I don't normally get to do when I go to the Renaissance Festival. So I was feeling a little happy. But Rich, we're sitting there eating these baked potatoes. Holy God. Mind blowing. It was in the new area too. But we're sitting there eating, and a Boimler walks by. Yes, Rich. He had the right uniform and he had the purple in his hair.
Oh geez.
And word of advice, if you're at a con, I don't care where, con, festival, wherever, if you see somebody dressed up in a very, I don't want to say obscure, but probably not predominantly known costume, pay them props. They will love you for it because he's walking by and I just looked at him and went, Oimler! And dude, he lit up, man. It was like unspoken thank you. It was fantastic. And it was one of those things, Richard, where like one weekend I ran into a 24 people that I know from cons, people that I've gotten to know over the years, through cons. Our friend Molly Durst, she wasn't there, but a mutual friend of ours was there, and he was there with a friend, and they were dressed up as Lone Star and Barf, and it was just priceless. But I got to go about 3 times this year, and I got to tell you, I don't know what it was, Rich, but especially the first weekend, I didn't go opening weekend. I went the next weekend. I don't know what it was, Richard, but everybody, all the performers, Mud Show, the swordsmen, the jousting, they were on fire. Literally watching shows that I've seen them do 1,000 times, but it was just, they nailed it out of the park. It was fantastic.
And you had pretty good weather too, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. The weekends that I went was phenomenal. It wasn't overly hot. I'd heard, I think it was maybe the second to last weekend, it got a little rainy, but it was, for those of you that have gone down to the Ohio Renaissance Festival, it was perfect Renfest weather. It was jolly old England weather. And it was great. I went down there. Rich, remember a friend of ours from way back when, Kimberly?
Oh, yeah.
I've known Kimberly for going on 10, 11 years now. And of all the years that I've known her, we've never gotten to go to the Renaissance Festival together. I was heading down there one weekend, she got a hold of me and she's just like, "Hey, I was going to go with some friends. They canceled. Are you planning on going down?" I'm like, "I'm I'm halfway there." So we got a chance to meet up. First time in 10 years, we got to go to the Renaissance Festival together, and it was it was the first time that she had gotten to go. And I'm telling you, it's moments like that, Richard, that make me appreciate why the Doctor, because I got to bring it back to Doctor Who, why the Doctor travels with a companion. You go to something you've seen 100 times, but you go with somebody that's never experienced it. It's a whole new level.
Yeah, I couldn't make it down that Time Travelers week because I was over at CXC
Yep.
filming there, and I went like every single night, so it was crazy.
Yeah, I was going to get a hold of it. Was one of those coin flip moments where it's just like, God, I know I missed it last year. I think I missed it last year because it was the same weekend.
Yeah, it was the same weekend too.
And I love the folks down there at CXC, but God, man, that's my Time Travelers weekend. But I saw you were going. I'm like, so how was it? I saw the pictures and everything. It looked fantastic.
Yeah, it was a good turnout and had fun. I went to, like I said, got to see most of the talks for the evening. I couldn't go down during the day because scheduling at work got confused. I was supposed to have off, but I didn't get off, so I literally put out 3 newspapers and still went down every day. So it was crazy. Yeah. But no, it was fun. Got to see a lot of new people, and I did the same thing as I did last year. I was talking to a newer. Almost every year I've gone down and met somebody new and was talking to them and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And last year I did this, and they won the Emerging Artists Award.
Excellent.
And it was really bizarre. I was talking to that person, and then they got selected and stuff. This year, I was talking to a new person. He actually does like the other thing he does besides the comic book stuff, which is great. I love it. I picked up some of his stuff, but he also does like retro commercials from the 90s and digitizes them, put them online. So we were talking about that. And then all of a sudden, I'm standing on the other side, and Jay's up there in the top announcing, and I've started filming and everything. Next thing I know, I follow Caitlin around to where it was, and it was that person I was just talking to again. So 2 years in a row, a brand new person that I met actually turns out to be the emerging artist, and it was like, this is unique. 2 years in a row. So next year, if you're a new artist in the area down at the show, and I come around talking to you,
yep,
you might have a chance.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yeah, if find Richard, evidently he is like the indie comic Buddha. Just find Richard, rub his tummy, and you're going to win.
And then I got to meet some of the other people that new people I never even knew and stuff like that. And there was even a connection with Monkeys versus Robot. We met some of those guys down at Louisville several years ago when we were set up down in Louisville. Well, he's the one that was the artist, and I've never met him before, and he was at that show too. So it was really neat seeing people that I knew but didn't know, and vice versa and stuff like that. So,
oh, that's awesome. Speaking of cons, me and you haven't got a chance to hit a con recently, but I did get the chance to go down to the Cincinnati Comic Expo with our friend Ginger Snap, and we met up with Jared down there, and they put on, again, it was a great show.
Oh, it's always a cool show.
It had a lot of fun too. It was well organized. Well, the old man, Richard, the only thing I didn't like was, remember, Richard, how we always parked in the same parking garage?
Right.
And we walked down the street, and you go in that first set of double doors right there.
On the west side, yeah.
Yes. No, not anymore. You got to walk all the way around.
Oh, wow.
To the east side, okay. The complete opposite side of the building.
They used to have that open way back in the day. I don't even remember back when I used to work for them. That used to be open. You could cut through that area. But they started the remodeling or something, didn't they, with the Duke Center?
That's what it is. because we found out while we were down there that next year they're going to be doing the remodeling, so they're going to be moving the expo to
Shannonville.
That's it.
Yeah.
God, I love you, man.
Yeah.
I was like, as soon as I'm starting to talk about it, I'm like, I don't know the name. I don't know the name. Rich will know it. They're moving it down to.
That's where they have like horror hounds there, and
Yes.
Muzz's group has their show there too, the toy show. So because they were going to have a big sci-fi convention the year, I think they did finally have it last year, and we couldn't go that weekend or something. But but with COVID, everything got canceled that year. He was actually going to move into that center and stuff that year, so that's why I know that area, So, but it's smaller than the Duke, so next year is going to be a little bit smaller. So.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it was very. I'm interested in seeing how it's done, because at Duke there was a lot there, but it was still spread out enough where it didn't feel crowded.
Yeah, it's Duke, right, or is it Drake? Yeah, it was Duke, right? Yeah, it's Duke Energy Center. Yeah,
the Duke Energy Center.
I thought I said that wrong. Sorry, dude.
No, I really did. I felt very good for a lot of the creators and artists, because me and you have been to shows, Richard. We won't say that. We've been to shows where they just jam-pack everybody in so tightly that it's impossible to stand there and have a conversation with their creator. And I don't even mean that from like our point of view, like interviews and stuff. I mean, to stand there and talk to somebody about their book or look through their art, it's just so congested. But Cincinnati didn't have that issue at all.
Oh, good.
The other show I got to go down to, Richard, I can't remember what you were doing. Gem City.
Yeah, we went to Gem City on Saturday.
We went Saturday. I went down with I went down with somebody on Sunday. But yeah, Gem City, we never
we did one episode, I think, right after that or right before it. But yeah, we got to interview the Gem City roller derby ladies.
That's right, and my friend Kenzie. Yeah, that was another really great. I still tell people to this day that people who approach me and like, I really want to go to a Comic-Con, but it looks so crowded, blah blah. Gem City is the one that I always tell people to go to. It's not overwhelming.
Yeah, it's got a lot of the regional creators there. That's what makes that one really unique, because it's not that you see the same people all the time, but there's even new people constantly, because like your one friend, she was actually tabling, what was it, for the first time or something?
Yes, that was her first table.
So,
it
was unique to get that on video and everything. So,
and it was one of those rare moments too, where not only was she a friend, but she was somebody whose art is literally hanging on my wall. And it wasn't like I didn't buy it because this is, which I will do. No, I bought it because it's genuinely really good, and I was more than happy to not like we promote her, but promote her. It was like, this is good stuff, people.
Yeah, like I said, there's a bunch of shows going on this weekend, so make sure you check the area, because Columbus has got a couple shows, Akron's got a show, and Piqua tomorrow has got the Piqua Comic-Con. So
yeah.
So if you get a chance to go to any of them shows tomorrow, it's going to be a busy day in Ohio.
Just in case, what date was it? Tomorrow would be the 5th.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's right. November the 5th, for those who are on delay. The whole weekend of November 4th and 5th in Ohio. I'm sure there's 5 shows for sure, and maybe a 6th if I think, because I think there was going to be like at one of your brick places that sells the Legos was having a toy gathering or something too. So you got to kind of include that too. So there was like 6 big events going on, and I think there was even a show up at Toledo at a library.
Yep.
So there might have been 7 different events going on today, as of recording today.
Yeah, and because the one you were mentioning, Richard, the Brick Fest down in Cincinnati. Oh, I really did. But it's an off-pay week, and Christmas is right around the corner. And here is the thing. Okay. One of my friends, Mark Nabler, who is a great cosplayer, he does a lot of Star Wars. He got to go down because one of the exhibits was Star Wars themed. One of the main attractions there was a huge Star Destroyer, but in red. And I got to see pictures just a little bit ago, as of recording this, just about a couple hours ago, of him next to it. I'm like, man, you're killing me, Smalls. And I'm like looking at the thing. I'm like, I could go tomorrow. I'm like, but I did get the chance to, Richard, a few weeks ago. Well, actually, you mentioned it, Toledo. I really do. I'm slipping my old age, Richard, because our mutual friend Katrina, what was it, last weekend, the one in Toledo, her and her family got to go to it, and she like texted me. She's like, I'm surprised you're not here. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She sent me pictures. I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, Toledo? Ah! But I did get to go to one in Fort Wayne about a few weeks ago, and that is such a great show. I love those shows because not only do you get to see great, and I call it art because it's art meets engineering. Because take it from somebody who builds Lego religiously, when I see some of their original, their MOCs, my own creations, it's mind-boggling. And there was some down there, Richard. They had an entire setup where they had robots, droids of different, there was a couple little R2-D2s, but they were actually playing large-scale chess.
Wow.
On the floor, it was gridded out with like QR codes that the robots knew, where to go. But it was a fantastic show. And it was also heartbreaking, Richard, because this was the first time when I went down there, Richard, I know I'm going to spend money, but I went down there with a mission. I knew what I was looking for. There was 2 sets down there, Richard. I had, when I was 8 years old, I had to go back through and look up the time that those sets came out. It was the original train and the original space series monorail. It had those down there, still in box, for thousands of dollars.
Oh, wow.
The monorail was $1,200.
Oh,
The
geez.
train was $700, and I'm like, oh my God. There was one setup, Richard, that it was like literally stepping back in time. Everything on this man's table, everything was like OG, like early 80s
Wow.
city. And I mean, it wasn't like recreation. I looked at it. I'm like, I had that Shell station. I had that racetrack. Oh, it was phenomenal. What I'm trying to say is, even if you're not a big Lego fanatic like I am, there are a lot of things to view and appreciate at one of those shows. It's just, again, it's art meets engineering.
Cool. I know, like, it's there's one coming up in Columbus too, isn't there? One coming up in.
Yep, and I got that. It's the same one. It's the same company, or Brickfest.
Okay.
That did. They're hitting Ohio like a hard, because it was like Toledo, Cincinnati, then Columbus is. I want to say it's the first weekend in January.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be damned if I didn't bookmark, screenshot everything when I found that Facebook page. I'm like, I'm not missing that one, because I went down in Columbus a couple times, and it's just, oh,
I know Galaxy Con's coming up too down there in Columbus.
yes. And I was going to talk to you about it, because one way or another, I'm going to go.
You just went Paula Abdul's autograph.
Straight up. Don't tell me.
Did you see she was $155 for the photo package?
No. See, Scat Cat showed up too. We'll talk. Bundle package, Paula Abdul and MC Scat Cat. Yes, I remember. Didn't even have to look up that cat's name, man. No, here's Richard was. You know me. I'm not an overly celebrity going after type person. You know, if it's somebody special, like when I got to meet Mike Rosenbaum and Tom Welling and George Glover Glover, the dad, fantastic. That was Smallville. That meant something to me. There's a lot of celebrities going to be there, but the one that I'm going after, Richard, come hell or high water, is Dante Bosco.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Rufio. Most people remember him as Rufio from Hook. I know him as Prince Zuko from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If I'd have thought about it, I didn't plan ahead. I'm wearing my Earth Kingdom shirt. I should have worn my Fire Nation shirt. I am good. Look, I've already got my head shaved. For the people that can't see or are listening, it has nothing to do with that. But the idea that I can get a picture with Prince Zuko dressed in my Avatar costume, and then I found this out, Rich. When we went down to Cincinnati, again, I didn't know what all to expect when I went down to Cincinnati. I knew that the people that I feel horrible for not remembering the name of the organization, but the ones that always have like the gigantic prop setup, like the one year when we went down, Richard, they had the Iron Giant.
Right.
And then the one year we went down, they had Battle Cat and Panther. No, Richard, when we walked into the door, when I was with Angie, right as we walked in the door was a life-size Appa from Avatar. I almost dropped. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a grown-ass man. I almost dropped to my knees and wept because it wasn't like a small little reproduction. No. We're talking full size. And to make it even better, when because I had gone as for that show, Doctor Strange. Had I known, I would have worn my Avatar. But while I was waiting in the line to get my picture, you damn right I was going to get my picture on Appa. There was a young lady in front of me with her parents. She was dressed as Ty Lee from Avatar.
Oh, wow.
And not only did she look phenomenal, she was doing cartwheels and backflips.
Oh, geez.
And gymnastics. And it was just like, I was just like, you win. I'm done. But I got my picture on Appa, and he mentioned to me that they are going to be at GalaxyCon with Appa.
Wow.
So if everything goes according to plan, I hate saying that, knock on wood.
I know, especially in December.
I know, oh my God. But if everything goes like I would like it to go, I will get to go down there dressed as okay, because I bald headed and in the beard, I get one of two. It depends on who people recognize. It's either Tenzin or adult Aang. It's bald head, beard. I let them decide. I will go as I say I'm there as Aang, but I've had people, it doesn't matter. But I will get a chance to get a picture as Aang on Appa and with Zuko. My mind is just like, somebody mentioned, did you see this? I don't care. Tunnel vision, Dante Bosco, Other people are going to be there. I'm sure they're fantastic. I just,
Yeah, it should be interesting. I'm going to try to get. I probably won't be able to get off, but I would like. I'm probably thinking about going down. So we'll have to talk about that off camera. So
Yeah. It's just one of those things where one way or the other. I will another. I got to do that, and I like when I go down. I like doing stuff like that when we're not at a show working. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
now we're there on we're there with a press pass. We're working. We're on the job, and I always feel bad. Like, well, I'm going to spend the next hour and a half in line for this autograph, which we still use. We post a picture. But you see what I'm saying.
well, I know Galaxy. Actually, the reason I really want to go down, I got to get a picture with Topanga.
Oh my God, I know, dude. Yes. And I thought of you because I saw this great TikTok because I signed up for TikTok. I doubt I will.
You're going to be an influencer.
No. Damn you. No. The only thing I can influence people on are bad decisions. No. My good friend Adam sent us a link to this great like indie movie trailer, but it was only on TikTok. And like as soon as I clicked on it, I got like 5 seconds into it, and that thing popped up. I was like, sign up. I'm like, I really want to watch this. So yeah, I signed up, and then I doubt I'm ever going to do anything. I mean, nobody, sound like the old man because I know there are people that are twice our age, both of our ages, that make great, legitimately. I hate the word influencer, but I will say that there are a lot of creators out there that I have over time developed respect for. Like, that's good shit. That's good stuff. You know what I mean? But Christ, Richard, where was I going? I was on TikTok.
Yeah, it's the con thing. The only bad thing is, you say all that stuff. We've been doing it for years.
Real quick, Topanga. Here's the one I saw. It was this guy, and it was one of those like me back in the '90s, and it, the way he shot it, he looked like he was small watching TV, and he's like me in the '90s discovering Topanga, and they showed clips of Topanga from early in the show. Then it cuts to or stitched together. See, Richard, I know these. I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm down with it. It's stitched, but he goes me now, and it's him in frame, and then he pans over, and there is Topanga in real life, and she throws his arm around him. I'm like, no, that's good stuff.
It's either that or I'm going to get Hot Lips' photograph. But
wait a minute, no, Loretta Swift.
Yep.
Can't remember my own birthday, but God damn it, I can remember the cast and math.
Yeah, and then what's his name's going to be there too?
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Again, can't remember my own birthday, but I remember Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, I slipped on that. I just knew both of them was going to be there.
I am. You know what? I am. I'm really tempted, Richard. I'll get with you because I was really tempted to get one with both of them too. Just not almost for me, but for my dad. I almost, dude, because that was my dad's show back in the day. And if any way I could ever, I know my dad. We'd walk in, he'd get the picture, and he'd be gone. Like, yep, met him. I'm out. But I know getting a picture with the two of them would tickle my dad. I know that would make his day.
Well, this is like when I got Lindsay Wagner's photo taken with her. To me, that was the ultimate. There was after I did that, between that and Tia Carrera, I was done.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
But but there's been a lot of other shows going on, dude. We got to talk about some shows. We've been just
Oh,
talking.
I know. Oh, crap, man. So many that had so much really great stuff has come and gone. I wanted to thank you because I mentioned Boimler earlier. Richard, you're talking about the shows Star Trek Strange New Worlds
Right.
and
Lower Decks.
Lower Deck. Dude, I'm all in. No. And here's what bit me in the ass, Richard. The only thing I wish you would have warned me for is I signed up for Paramount. And we can, just realized, Richard, we can actually say the names. The writer's strike is over. As of recording this right now, the writer's strike is over, so we can mention names. Sorry, I just listened to so many podcasts that have been like pre-recorded, and it's just like, no, can't say the names. But as of recording this, because I was fully in support of them, there was quite a handful of shows. It was like that in Yellow Jackets.
Hey, I just thought of something. We can use that as our excuse why we weren't during shows.
I think for a minute anybody believes that this garbage is written ahead of time, you're out of your damn mind.
Oh, sorry, I just had to say that.
Page 32, Mike loses this shit over Jamie Farr. No, I signed up for it on your recommendation, and I'm telling you, Strange New World is, in my opinion, some of the best Trek we have gotten since the Next Generation. I mean, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, props to them, but I'm saying, damn. You know what I mean? Those were, oh God, that was a good show, Richard. And the only thing is, though, when I got to I don't want to say final episode, but like, because of the writer's strike, the last episode, that was the first in a very long time, Richard. I was just like, when's the next episode coming out? I want one. But I made the mistake, Richard, is how I am when I binge a show. I do one show. I did Strange New Worlds not knowing that there was going to be a quote unquote cameo from the people from Lower Deck.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, oh man. But it was great because...
Did you know Lower Decks before that episode, or did you watch that episode first before you saw it?
No. I knew of it, but I hadn't started watching it yet.
Okay.
And first of all, because I knew enough, because especially from Jack Quaid, who I'm a big fan of his. The Boys, anything. So I knew the character. I knew of the show. I did not know that was coming. And it was just like, how are they? Oh my God. Then when you really realize, Richard, here's how well that show is put together. Dude, that is one of the very few shows where you could translate the characters from animation to live action using the voiceover, the voice actors. And it made one, they were them in real life.
Yeah.
Like, it was no stretch of the imagination, and how I am. That was shortly after the time, that was shortly before, Richard, I sent you that picture from when I was watching it, because I get my Paramount through Amazon. I just, one less icon up on the screen. But, I do the in-scene thing, it's like, because I'm that type of person. It's like, I have to know everything this person is in, or especially animated. I have to know who that voice is. And I'm going through and I'm like, oh my God. Richard, the cyborg with not Thorogood. Rutherford. The guy that does Rutherford's voice is also Casey from Loki.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And I knew him from Tacoma FD. It was just like, I adore stuff like that when, like my fandoms cross over and everything. But when I looked up the actress for Tendi, what was it? It said something like she was in an something from like 20 years ago. I'm like, no. No, I Strange New Worlds was phenomenal. It really is. It's some of my favorite Trek. And Lower Deck, God, man.
Well, I told you I'm in love with Nurse Chapel's character now.
Oh, see why. Oh man.
I mean, it was just so bizarre. I mean, she was so strong this season.
Yeah.
They had some really well written, episodes that just featured her because, like, when she was going to go off and study with the Vulcans, that was crazy.
Oh, and then the relationship. The relationship with her and the Doctor, and then getting like they did it perfectly too because they waited until a couple seasons in to get that flashback.
Yeah.
When they met. Wow. I mean, good storytelling. Well written.
Yeah, you're not used to seeing Star Trek having a war scenario. Because we've always had the episodes after all that, and then the only time we've really had the war part was Deep Space Nine, with like the Kardashian and the other stuff, and it was what it was, but it's just weird actually seeing some that where stuff comes from,
Yeah, and you know what else I really appreciate when you mentioned the thing about the war was in Lower Deck, fantastic, great comedy. But they touched. An episode when I say recently, for me recently watched was when Mariner was just like, I signed up to explore the galaxy. It was when she was having her little crisis of faith, or you know what I mean, when she was acting out, and yelling like hardcore, even for Mariner, where it was like, wow. I mean, wow, for an animated comedic show, that was a really heavy moment.
Did you finish the season out yet? The last episode? Okay. Spoilers in case we say something. I just want to make sure in case we slip and say something to give something away, because it dropped.
Well, I'd forgotten how recent the show is because I felt like I got to it late, but it was that last episode when I got to it, it was saying that it wasn't available yet. And I'm like, no, I'm going through and checking, make sure that my Paramount subscription was up. And I'm like, oh, it's new. Like,
yeah.
I love that show.
That's why I want to make sure people, because some people are behind a couple weeks or whatever. So and especially when it had the tie-in with Next Generation with and all that was, and then
dude,
it was just
that show is that show is a prime example of you can tell when a TV show is written by educated fans because the Easter eggs they drop, holy crap. Even I was like, wait a minute, oh crap, I did like, no spoilers, but when they were talking to the main antagonist of the last couple episodes, where it's just like, he looks an awful lot like Tom Paris. I don't see it. He sounds like Tom Paris too. I don't see it. I looked it up because it's the way I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, it was really played by the same actor.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of reasons behind that because originally that was supposed to have been the same character on Voyager, but they didn't. I can't remember exactly the whole part because the pilot was reshot or something. It had to do with a lot of behind the scenes shift, and they just didn't want to bring that character back, even though basically it was the same character.
Yeah. And when they dropped names like Wesley Crusher and oh god, that was I wanted to personally thank you for that, Richard, because both of those shows I'm hard pressed to tell you which one I like more, Strange New Worlds or love them both equally, but for different reasons. And dude, to be able to legitimately pull off a musical episode,
Oh yeah,
brava!
and the Klingons.
That was one of the other big things that really got me into it, Richard, was not got me into it, but one of the things I was really looking forward to was Carol Kane. Oh my God, I adore that woman so much, all the way from Taxi to Scrooged, Princess Bride. If she's in it, I'm gonna watch it. Her character was top notch. Oh my God. You think I don't remember you, but I do. I failed you for a. I was like, oh.
And the whole thing explaining about Khan and the retrofitting
Yeah.
of Khan. Remember how I was trying to explain to you that wibbly wobbly, but I didn't really want to spoil anything. I hope I didn't spoil anything when you watched that. But
Nope.
did that totally make sense after you watched it? What I was trying to say?
Yep. And because you know me, Richard, I go down the rabbit hole. Speaking of wibbly wobbly, of course, I had to look up every single actor in that show. The actress that plays the descendant of Khan,
Right.
she was in an episode of Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She was the one that she basically kind of named the river because she gave Amy the little blanket that had the river's name on it. And I'm like,
Yeah, Doctor Who's going to get really interesting. We don't really want to go quite there yet because it's not quite time, but
no, but that was the other thing, Richard. When I went down to the Time Travelers Weekend, saw great doctors. I got a picture with the TARDIS. This was a great moment for me. As Jared and I were leaving, we were leaving about closing time. All of the people that came, they came as a group. All the doctors, and when I say all the doctors, I mean one through everybody. As we're walking out, I just heard somebody yell "doctor," and I instinctively turned and I got a picture of everybody, and they drugged me into. I didn't want to I didn't want to invite myself. Oh no, not with Doctor Who group. Your family. They pulled us in. They did indulge me, Richard. I wish you would have been here because this is the second time.
Oh,
it did happen. I went to the first doctor, and they were like, "No, we want him." So as I'm walking through, I went, "Doctor, doctor, 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 doctor." Went through the entire thing, man, and I was just like, "No." Not only was there a great 13th Doctor there was a cosplayer there as the new Doctor. And I had to look at him and I go, "Are you him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm him." And I go, No. I know who you look like, but are you him? Because dude was identical. But so yeah, there's going to be Christmas is going to be lit this year for Doctor Who fans because
now you're going to have to renew your Disney Plus subscription. Just forewarn everybody.
Oh, I know. Well, I am, but I kept thinking I was getting mine through something else, but it doesn't matter.
Are you on that iPlay and telling them you're in Britain territory?
No. Mine might have been through Amazon.
Okay.
Because I think the last couple seasons I had to quote unquote purchase.
Oh, okay. But I don't even think that's going to be available that way because the new deal is exclusively streaming only on Disney Plus.
Which I'm fine with that.
Yeah. But the only thing is that one, heard about where all the old doctors are coming back with their companions and stuff. That's
Yes,
not going to be available in America.
I'll find it, dude. Where
I
live
know. I'm
find
just saying it was just bizarre that they didn't get a distribution deal because that's going to be on that iPlay whatever service that BBC owns or something.
I think what it is, Rich, and if I'm wrong, anybody watching or listening, feel free to correct me. But one thing Doctor Who has always done is around Christmas time they do the Red Nose benefit. They do a charity thing for the Red Nose organization where they'll do like a short,
Oh, okay.
or they'll do something,
Yeah. Well, I heard they was going to take all those episodes and stitch them together into a full blown like mini movie or something that was going to go on world distribution. I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be available as individual episodes because they were supposed to be like micro episodes or something, and then it was going to be distributed different, maybe on like Disney Plus or something. But
Possible, but it's going to be a great time to be a Doctor Who fan because I mean, there's no spoilers. I mean, if you watch the final episode like 6 years ago, it feels like Tennant's back. We're going to get the Doctor. Oh my God!
I freaked out the other day. I was watching Pluto TV. They have the classic Doctor Who channel. I was flipping through. They had the 5 Doctor episodes.
Yep.
Did you see those? Oh
Yes.
my! I go, this is that, and I've saw them once a long time ago, and I hadn't seen them since then. And I sat and watched that all night. They played all. Was there 3 episodes? 2, 3? Yeah,
I want to say 3.
Yeah, I didn't quite get all the way on the first episode because it was like later on. It had already started, and I watched it. But I sat and watched the other 2, and it was like late.
Yeah.
Because that's like live TV. That's still, what the kids aren't used to. It's live TV.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have between Pluto, TV, TEEV.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I am not hurting for commercials anymore. Because it was Mystery Science Theater 3000 because there's something so I know I'm getting off topic, but there's something so weird with the properties of Mystery Science Theater 3000 where this service can do these episodes, this service can stream these episodes. You can get all of them on YouTube, but so it's like if you want to watch it, I got absolutely no problem.
Well, that's just like right now. Warner Brothers sold off everything to everybody.
Yeah, but the one nice thing about that service, Richard, with those commercials, it's not like the old CW app where it was the same. Dude, there were times where I saw the same commercial back to back to back 3 to 4 times. I don't mind.
Yeah, and did you hear about this Superman season is the last? There's no more DC on CW, so the actual done, which is good. We kind of predicted that,
Yeah.
Because I think that's what we were talking about on the last episode was that where it was going to go, if it was actually going to happen or not, because they were actually maybe not even doing it. I think the last time we talked, but they were doing it half-assed. Oh, did I say it?
Yeah. Well, because I was holding now before I deleted the app off, my Roku. It's like I wanted to find out what the status was. I'm like, I was almost at the point where it says like I don't care if I have to pay for it through Amazon. I was like, I'm done with the CW.
Yeah, I think it's only going to be a limited run or something. The only sad thing is, though, I did watch a show the other day. It has what's her name from Back to the Future?
Leah Thompson.
Yeah, she's playing Murder, She Wrote, basically. It's like a mom and daughter murder.
Yeah,
because she's like an author. She's like a mystery author, and they're solving mysteries or something. It was bizarre.
Isn't the daughter on her show her real daughter?
I think so. I'm not 100.
It's not the same last name.
But it was just so funny. My mom was watching, and I walked in, and I go, "What is this? That's what's her name?" So I just started watching it too, and I go, "Is this Murder, She Wrote rerun?" I know, kids, you don't know who Murder, She Wrote, but
I still love the theory that it was actually Jessica was like a serial killer and was digressing. But no, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The other thing I am like ridiculously excited for was one of my all-time favorite actor, Neil Patrick Harris is going to be the toy. Oh, and I had to go back through. I'm like, oh my god, they really did bring that character back because I was like, it sounds familiar, and I think it was on Pluto or something, but found like the old episode. Like, oh, to see him in Doctor Who. Oh, if they don't make a Dr. Horrible joke, I'm going to riot. But but I mean to have Neil Patrick. Oh God.
Yeah, this whole 60th anniversary is going to be something else, you know.
It's going to be what? Yeah.
We should talk a little bit. Did you finish Ahsoka? I said it. Ahsoka.
I did. I very much enjoyed Ahsoka. It was
or I should say Rebels episode
Rebels season
8 or whatever.
Yeah, Rebels season 5. Yeah. Yeah. No, I did. I really did enjoy it, and I am very interested in see how they build off of it, because at least it answered a lot of questions. Because it was just like, okay, well, if where was Ahsoka during this time, and where was, well, she's in a galaxy, even in the Star Wars universe, a galaxy far, far away, you know.
And I liked how they incorporated like old Jedi stuff, because the whole sequence where the Sith guy was talking about how they're not real Jedis, they're like broken Jedis or something like that.
Yes.
You know, and that almost makes sense why it goes straight back to Empire Strikes Back, is why Luke was the last, because he was the last one to be trained by a real Jedi.
He was the he was the last Jedi. See, this is where it really did. That show did a really good job of filling plot holes.
Right.
That last trilogy of movies. He was the last quote unquote Jedi, not the last Force using / sensitive person.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, because it's ridiculous to think that the Force just that, you know what I mean, that the Force just stopped, you know. And,
right, and what it is because they use the Force in different ways than how Jedis really use it.
Yes,
you know, I mean, they don't have, you know, like you saw Ezra like use the Force sensitive stuff to do other stuff that Jedis don't really do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they do push people and do stuff, but it's not a offensive maneuver. It's more of a defensive maneuver.
Right. I know there's people that still, it's a great Star Wars argument. I would almost consider Ezra a Jedi, because I mean, he was trained by Kanan, who was trained by a Jedi.
True.
You know, so...
But he didn't kind of complete, because he was killed before he completed his full training.
Right. But it's kind of like saying that... what's a good way of... oh, well, he's got superpowers, but he's not in the Justice League. He's not a Justice League member.
Right.
But he still has superpowers.
Yeah.
But the Justice League is dead. Yes, the last Justice League member is... The Justice League is no more, but they're still superheroes. It's a convoluted way of saying it, but...
Right.
I'd have mentioned, Loki.
Oh, yeah. We're getting ready
Dude,
for the final.
Oh, my God. Look, man. I don't care what your opinions are of the other Disney Marvel properties that have come out in the last few years. Loki is still top notch, dude. The writing on it, that good storytelling, well crafted storytelling.
Yeah, I actually went back and rewatched the last Ant-Man. It was like I was on like the when they first went back and traveled through time and go, wait a second, I gotta rewatch Ant-Man. So I rewatched Ant-Man.
So did I, but just because I'm obsessed with it.
I know why you watched it.
Yeah. You know what? I don't care what I know. I know I'm biased, but man, that movie does not deserve the hate it gets. I think it's just because it had nothing to do with the quote unquote MCU. You know what I mean? And Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania was the same thing as Ant-Man and Ant-Man and Wasp. It was its own deal. It was its own property. It was its own thing. But man, Loki.
Now the last episode, this is where we're going to deal a little bit of spoilers, but that last episode, he took the book. I thought he was going to recreate everything, then it just spaghettified on him, it was like, that's crazy.
Oh, dude, that moment. It is very rare anymore that there is a real gotcha moment in shows like that for me anymore. But again, spoiler alert, when dude walked into that chamber and just spaghettified instantly, I was shocked. Like, I did not see that coming. I mean, I had a feeling something was going to go wrong, but dude, they spaghettified him like, pow! Special holy crap! Did you notice, Richard? If you go back and you rewatch it, when old boy gets spaghettified, dude, you can see rib cage.
Oh,
I was just like, whoa, wait a minute, rewind. Ooh, oh, that no, unnecessary. Just oh man, so well written. Like a great example is like when he was time slipping. When he time slipped, he walked into that room and he saw him with the book.
right.
And then like a minute for like not even a minute later, he was on the other end of it. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like one of those ones, it's, I don't know, it's just bizarre how time works that way in Marvel,
Yeah. But it was really interesting to see like all them getting pulled out of all of the main protagonists, seeing them in their respected timelines.
Jets, the ski jets.
Yeah. And even goddamn it, when they're in Obi's hangar or whatever, and he's trying to sell the doctor lady a jet ski.
Oh yeah,
give her aquatic recreational vehicle. Yeah, financing is available. Like Jesus, come on.
But yeah, it's just like, okay, now it's like, does that have to be to make everything else work? But then you had so much stuff where they're trying to make it work, but then it doesn't work. And so how many branches did they just create through those episodes?
Yeah, that's what makes a really good show, Richard, is you not knowing what's coming next. They showed, everybody in that room getting spaghettified, and then even Sylvie.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Loki, yeah.
Last episode this week, as of our recording. So
yes. Loki's, oh man, I just really enjoying that one. And I think we've only got the one episode left, right?
Yeah, I think this is it, because these are smaller series. The only good thing, though, we did get the trailer for Echo dropped this week.
Yes, and I really am looking forward to that one, especially knowing what we know about the future of the. You can make an entire episode of this, Richard. The future of the MCU. They're doing what we said they should have done, Richard. Especially when we found out about like how they just completely fired everybody on the Daredevil staff.
Yeah, and started
It's
over.
like we're starting over. We're doing this. They're doing it right.
Well, we hope.
Well, yes, their intentions are good. They're taking a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I still don't think they know exactly how they're going to wrap this up. Especially now that they don't really have the actor playing Kang anymore. Are they just going to keep with that, or they going to bring in Doctor Doom? Because they talk about keep bringing Doctor Doom in, then you got the Fantastic Four that can spin out of that. But now with the writer's strike, we're pushed back past 2025 before we'll almost have anything major that hadn't been done.
And then I don't know if you would call this a spoiler, but I guess evidently there's a scene in a trailer or maybe even at the end of Marvels where I'm talking about, Richard, the X.
Yeah.
What's coming next, and then it fades and the X stays there, and who's that standing in front of Rambo.
Yeah, it's well, at least this week they've started to admit that all of the X-Men movies is canon now with Marvel, but just on the alternate universe, or the multiverse. Yep. So, it's kind of nice in a way, but I don't know. I think we just need a big crisis. We wipe everything else and the Flash comes over. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
I think Marvel's learned their lesson from DC. Like,
Did you see that what's his name? The one that plays Flash and what's his name did the thing and they said Barry.
I can't remember what the product was, but it was a commercial with Ryan Reynolds and Grant Austin.
Yeah.
And it's very obviously Ryan Reynolds is himself, but Grant Austin is supposed to be somebody else. And he's like trying to egg him. And he's like, would you say it's fast as a flash? And it was just like, you're my favorite Barry. Like, God damn it. It's like,
and then they called him Hal then.
You're my favorite. When Ryan Reynolds slips underneath his breath, you're my favorite Barry, and Grant says you're my favorite Hal. Like, ooh, but
Oh, well, at least that Green Lantern is on like Amazon and will be on Netflix again. They packaged it in with that DC bundle that's on Amazon and Netflix coming out. So
yeah, I don't hate that movie. It could have. Was it great? No. Was it a little bit? Yes. Was it? Oh, okay. It was bad. Okay. I'm trying, man.
At least we're going to get in the theaters, hopefully Aquaman on Christmas, right?
Yes. And I will go see. I am, controversy aside for a certain actress, I am still an Aquaman fan. I am still a fan of the actor. The previews that I've seen of it, I'm gonna go to the theater and see it.
Side note, did you see Fast X or Fast 10? His part in there is hilarious.
I adore him, man. I watched that one. I think it might have been on Netflix. It was like the Dream Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, again, people. This is why you can tell we don't have writers because
we go blind.
We're professionals. We'll mention shit that we can't remember, but
the whole little sequence they played homage to Aquaman because he like falls off the bridge and he's like in the water, and it's like he's like Aquaman. It's so funny,
It really does. It's gotten to that point, Richard, where the one thing that both Marvel and DC have in common is knows what's going to happen. Everything going on with Marvel right now about are we going to continue with Kang? Are we not continuing with Kang? I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't have the energy to care. When the next movie comes out, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Until then, I'm not.
I want to see Marvels. You know, I'm a huge Brie Larson fan. I'm sorry, but Brie Larson.
No, I am very excited to see that one.
Just as long as the waitress working at the Waffle House. I mean, never mind.
Yeah, I'm more in it for Ms. Marvel though, because man, again, that show was way better than it got credit for. I absolutely, again, casting, they couldn't have done any better than the actress they got. I want to see it, but I'll be completely honest with you. I'm going into that movie to see to see Ms. Marvel. I'm watching that movie for Kamala Khan. That girl deserves better. That character deserves better. Ms. Marvel is one of my favorite characters in the comic books right now, but yeah. Hey, shoot! When is that? When does the Marvels come out?
Geek Night is Thursday of whatever the coming Thursday is. 9th. The 9th, yeah. It comes out the 10th. For Friday's the 10th, right?
Well, as of
10th, yeah.
Yeah, as of us doing this show, it's probably like another week or so. We're gonna have to go.
It's next weekend. So as our take, which is I'm looking on my calendar right now, which is the 10th. Geek Night is the 9th, and the 10th is when it comes to theaters, technically.
I want to see that. I have to see that one at the theater.
I have a feeling 3 of them together. You know, whenever they use their powers, they exchange places and stuff.
Yeah. So definitely something to look forward to. Speaking of things to look forward to, Richard, we're going to have to get together and watch that movie, and hopefully we'll be able to do a review of it shortly after it comes out. But until then, Richard, where can people find us on all of the socials?
The easiest place is.
I'm sorry, I threw that at you.
No. I have it ready. I just had to knock it up. It's at UVN.plus, PLUS. This is the place where you can find our main website. It has our archive of all videos from going on 21 years now. We're going to be legal this year. And then you find our social links and stuff like that, where I throw out lots of little tidbits. You know, I try to stay from the memes, but every once in a while you'll see something pop up, or Mike sends me something and we post it and stuff. So it's not that bad. And then I always put a little stuff here and there. So you got to keep up with the influencing that we can do.
I will smack you across the screen, Richard. Oh, I hate that. That's such a dirty word. We're UV.
There's an inside joke, people. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But if you took the time to watch or listen to this, thank you very much. We appreciate it. I'm going to like and subscribe.
And comment. You can email us. We can tell you.
Yes. We've been hit for commenting and saying stuff for us since way before. Yeah, back in our days, we didn't have the like button. You sent up smoke signals to let us know you watched the show. Anyway.
Well, we actually sent our shows out on VHS tape. Now, come on.
Amen, brother. We were on public access. So, yeah, on behalf of myself, Mike Boroff, and my good friend, Richard Cottajon, thank you for watching and or listening. And, Richard, it's been a little while, but I would love to say it again. Please press the button.